Welcome to the Blue Cafe. We offer stories of infidelity, betrayal, and redemption. Please like and subscribe. Cheers. Now, on to today's story. My wife and I have been together for 8 years. Needs support. I apologize in advance for how I write out my experience. I have never spoken to anyone about this or how I feel over this situation. My wife and I have been together for about 8 years. In 2019 she left for military training while we were still dating. While she was away at her training, she was able to have a phone, but halfway through she started ghosting me. When she returned from her training, she proceeded to break up with me. This of course tore me apart, but I decided to catch up with friends and get into exercising. My ex-girlfriend and I continued to be friends during this period. About a month passes and we slowly start to connect again. I'm super pumped. I loved this girl. We started dating again and we went on a vacation. On our way back I propose. We were both excited and planning our future. We planned to get married that next year, but then we found she was pregnant and we decided to just get married in the courthouse. I'm not sure if she felt it, but I knew neither my family or hers were happy with what just happened. After we had just gotten married, I found out she had cheated on me during her training, and when we got back together, I saw all the pictures and text messages and my stomach turned. I never told her what I found, but I was physically disgusted. I physically couldn't touch her. She thought I was cheating on her while she was pregnant, but in reality it was just because of my emotions towards her completely flipped. I had no idea how to handle this. I ended up just pushing it to the back of my head. So fast forward to 2021. I still have the same emotions towards my wife. It's slightly better, but our intimacy on my side feels no love. I lost all sex drive due to depression over it. The second half of 2021 I was feeling a little better. We actually planned a late honeymoon due to COVID kinda ruining our plans. She wanted to start trying for another kid, but I didn't really want to because of how I still felt. We went on our honeymoon and she complained about it the whole time. It was one of the worst vacations she's been on. This kind of reignited my disgust towards her. We planned this together and I took everything she wanted to do into consideration. Now it's 2022, and we are expecting another kid. I am in school and I'm probably in the second lowest point in my life. She was on her period on the vacation, which was the last time before we found out she was pregnant, we had intercourse. I seriously don't understand how. I've been secretly wanting to perform a paternity test on my first kid just to put some ease at mind. My wife is also a huge bum. I was struggling working part-time and going to college while trying to pay rent and all of our bills, $1,200 a month. I finally convinced her to get a job and she nearly complained to me to death until I finally told her to quit her job. She told me recently that when I finish college and get my career that she was going to quit and stay at home. Yet when she didn't have a job, I was working, going to school, going to the gym, coming home and cooking and cleaning the house, and she did nothing. Anytime I ever voice my opinion or speak about what upsets me, it's her raising her voice towards me and it becomes my fault. My wife and I are basically living in a roommate stage. I don't know how to ever deal with the situation I put myself in. I should have taken the chance I was given and left. I feel like an idiot and I'm not sure I'll ever be happy in the marriage. Sure, I could get a divorce, but I couldn't stand hardly seeing my kids. It would destroy me. I've never been suicidal, but it has crossed my mind here and there. Rant over. It sounds like you ignored a bunch of red flags to get where you are now. Don't ignore anymore. Get the paternity tests. Understand that your relationship is based on what you can do for her. Get a clearer picture of your situation and figure out what you actually want from a relationship. You don't have that now. Do a DNA test on the first child. Finish your degree, then see a lawyer. You should be able to get some custody of your kids, even 50-50. It's not good for either of you if you're this unhappy. Well, what can we say? Do you have some sort of codependency issue that causes you to keep going back to this low-quality woman? Might want to seek therapy for that along with a divorce attorney. Op, I am sorry you feel like you have to put yourself through this, but you don't. Make copies of the texts and pictures of the cheating so there will be no gaslighting afterwards. Go through her social media now, as there is every chance that neither child is yours and she is using you as the safe base to take care of her and her kids while she cheats on you with her APs. Get test for STDs immediately. Have both kids' DNA tested. Even if the kids are yours, you do not stay married to a cheater for the sake of the kids, you divorce for the sake of the kids. You do not want your kids growing up thinking that cheating is the norm in a relationship. And if they are not your kids, then the AP needs to step up and start footing the bills, not you. So, are you ready to take any decisive action instead of venting? Did you ever ask yourself why you are unable to take control? Well, it's been a while, and by neglecting obvious signs you are deeper in than ever. If you had spoken out, you could have been happily married. You can get a legal paternity test. If you have a reason, you have. Go see a lawyer. And then sit your wife down and talk to her. Tell her what you saw and how you feel. The kids will grow in this negative environment. So by staying, you're hurting them. Get the paternity tests done through your lawyer. He will have to petition the court to remove you from the birth certificate. Courts have requirements for tests to be allowed. So if you do it, you will have to redo later again. Your marriage is over. Talk to her. Get the truth out. Nothing will repair what you saw. Get legalities handled and move on. You have two things in life: time and your health. You're wasting your life and time. You could have been in a better, more healthy relationship. Your health is getting worse. Your wife does not sound like a catch. And you know she cheats. Move on. Either this is creative writing, or you make poor decisions, repeatedly. I suspect creative writing. If I was writing the next chapter, I'd have the main character file for divorce immediately. It's no good for kids to be raised with unhappy married people. They notice and it affects them. Get the paternity test if it would make a difference in whether you want to be involved in the kid's life. Get a paternity test for kid number 2. See a lawyer. Get the divorce. You can't go through life being a miserable sack. Take some positive steps for yourself to extricate yourself from this marriage. And tell your wife to get a job. Time to paternity test the kid and plan an exit. She is planning on being a sponge for the next 30 years. No way this marriage is sustainable. You can be a 50-50 parent and live in 2 happy homes rather than supporting her and being miserable. You deserve to be more than a wallet. Can you get a paternity test done pretty discreetly? Do I just talk to a doctor about getting one done? Online, you get swabs in the mail with a return envelope. Swab your cheek and the child's, send them back, get the result via email within days, easy. Google is my friend. I don't know how discreet it will be. Call your doctor and ask. At least that call will be between the two of you. When the baby is born, if not already, buy a DNA kit and do everything at your parents' house. Including a new email you use there or a sibling's or friend's house using their computer or tablet. I don't say this to be mean. You are not sharing your life with a partner. You are sharing it with an unremorseful selfish abuser. If you stay with her, I see no prospect for a happy life. Think about how an unhappy home will affect the children. They will be watching and they will think this abusive relationship is what love and marriage looks like. The longer you stay with her, the harder and more expensive it will be to divorce her. See a lawyer so you know what divorce might look like. Push her to get a job to limit the alimony you might owe. Once she is working, start the divorce proceedings. Hiding what you know about her cheating is very unhealthy for you and the relationship. I don't see any good options for you in the short term. In the medium to long term, I believe it is best for you and your children to end the marriage. Good luck. Why would you ignore something so traumatic? And keep ignoring it? You're clearly incredibly unhappy. Why are you carrying all of the emotional burden alone? None of it makes any sense. Sorry man, TBH, you enabled lots of your mess. You always turned a blind eye. When you first got together again, you never worked out your issues from your first relationship, just being happy being together again, total rug sweep. When you found out about her cheating on you, you never talked about it either. You let it fester and let your new relationship go down the drain because you were hurt and couldn't express yourself and became passive aggressive. I'm sorry, but you're mostly responsible for your problems. Learn to talk and express yourself, or you keep getting toxic and ducking over your relationships. I read many useful tips, but none said anything about the fact that the first step is to talk to her. That's what you had to do from the first moment you found out. No matter how it ends, you have to clear things up. Your post is not clear. Does she know you know about her cheating? Been there, done that, got the t-shirt. I understand the inclination to stay for the kids. You need to be brutally honest with her. She needs to be the one working on the relationship and her. She needs to do a lot of work to keep you, and it doesn't sound like she is even aware that you know. She cheated more than you rug swept. She's disrespecting you greater than you're letting her walk over it. She's accused you of cheating greater than you never confronted her about her cheating. She's using you financially greater than you are burning yourself to keep her warm. Give me one good point why you want to continue living like this and why on earth you don't confront her. Unless she faces some consequences, she's not going to stop making your life hell. On the other hand, you are just causing damage to yourself by suffering in silence. Start individual therapy at least, or if you can't afford it now, at least talk to someone about it. Even if you want to continue the relationship, which ideally you shouldn't, confront her so that you can let it all out of yourself and see where things go. Considering the dynamics of your relationship and the fact you let go of her cheating the first time, I wouldn't be shocked if she starts cheating on you again and then blames it on you. In reading this, I just have to wonder, how far is your point of no return? It seems you knew this was a complete train wreck long ago but stayed on for the ride. Even your families seemed to have known. Got to ask the same as others, when are you going to take control of yourself? You know you're going to be miserable if you stay with her, and anyone can tell you that you don't do that for the kids. Harsh but true, unless you accept all the things you've been ranting over and decide this is your life. Not good, but good luck. You need to address the elephant in the room. You need to confront her with all the evidence you have and tell her you don't trust her, that you're sickened by her actions and that you wanted to get a DNA other first child. I hope you will share the results of the paternity test. She sounds shrewd and the kind of person who would make something like this work to her advantage. You may well be raising another man's child. It is sad that you never brought this up when you first found out. Maybe if you had, you could have resolved it a long time ago. In a way, you have done to her what she did to you. You have kept pertinent information from her that has hurt your marriage significantly. You haven't been able to be a good husband to her, rightfully, but it was done in a very passive-aggressive manner. You say you couldn't imagine divorce as you would have the kids only half the time, yet you have considered suicide. Kids having you half the time is significantly better than zero or living with the knowledge their parents killed themselves. Maybe if you dealt with this when you first found out, your relationship could have been saved, but at this point it likely cannot be. You have way too much resentment towards her, and don't love her. You being this way towards her, I'm sure she doesn't love you either at this point. Divorce. You can be happy that way, she can too. This way your kids will have two happy households, instead of one miserable one with parents that don't love or like each other. This is the best time to get divorced. You have minimal income. She will be forced to get a job. No alimony, 50-50 child custody. You need to stop being passive-aggressive and make some important decisions for yourself and your kids. Confront her about the cheating that was your first mistake. You rug swept. Never rug sweep, and what you're going through is exactly why. She doesn't make you wear a dress, does she? 'Cause she is definitely the one wearing the pants. Love makes us do some really stupid things. I really don't know what to tell you since you're so deep in this sham of a marriage. I would most definitely do DNA on the kid, and if you could afford $400, $500, a polygraph for your WW, just to see how truthful she is being about everything. Good luck. DNA test your first child and your second child when it is born. Hold out until you finish college and then file for divorce if both kids are yours. We hope you have enjoyed today's episode. Please comment, like and subscribe. Cheers. Have a wonderful day or night, wherever you are.